Hi, Jason. Warriors owner Joe Lacob recently said on a podcast that they think the team's medical staff has Porzingis' issues figured out. Assuming a full 65-plus games this season, where would you rank KP? He only played 82 minutes with Steph before Curry went down, and he played 0 minutes with Butler. They can get Steph, Porzingis, and Butler on the floor together. It seems like a rather intriguing trio who complement each other well. Add Draymond, Horford, Potts, Melton, Santos, and Yaxel to the mix. They seem like a proverbial team that no one wants to face. Could not disagree more as it pertains to Porzingis specifically. Yes, if Jimmy Butler can come back, give me Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy in any setting, and I feel like I have a chance to win. Porzingis in 2024, which was the last closest thing to a healthy season that he had, he still was in and out of the lineup constantly in the postseason. Had this incredible game one of the finals and then immediately got hurt again. And it's only gotten worse in the recent years. That was the 2024 finals. You're talking this year about the 2027 finals. We are 3 full years removed from that by the time we get to the postseason this year. I think that betting on Porzingis to be healthy is absurd. That's why I think the contract is structured in a way to where if they want to get out of it after the season, they can. Again, I like Draymond. I like Jimmy Butler. I like Steph Curry, but this is not a talented roster. I do not view them as a team nobody wants to face. Even in the universe where everyone's healthy in terms of Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph, the lack of Moses Moody, the lack of a primary point of attack defender that can guard bigger wings, they just have a lot of holes on this roster, and they have the means with which to improve it by making trades, but they haven't seemed to have any intention to do so. And so I'm rooting for the Warriors. They've always been one of my favorite teams to watch. Steph Curry's my second favorite player in the NBA, but I personally would be stunned.
Warriors fans, did this analyst really just say he would be stunned if Golden State finished above the play-in? Seriously, we are talking about a team that still has Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Kristaps Porzingis, veteran depth, young talent, and the assets to make another move. And we're supposed to believe the ceiling is the play-in? Hold on, because there's a huge contradiction hiding inside that argument, and I think Dub Nation needs to hear it. The same analyst who questioned this roster also admitted something incredibly important. Give him Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler in almost any situation, and he feels like he has a chance to win. Exactly. That's the entire point. Because when Stephen Curry is healthy, you don't start the conversation by asking whether Golden State can survive. You ask, what happens if the pieces around him actually click? Porzingis is obviously the biggest question mark. Nobody should pretend his injury history doesn't exist. That's fair. But if the Warriors' medical staff truly believes it understands how to manage him better, imagine what a healthy Porzingis changes offensively. A 7-footer pulling defenders away from the rim while Steph Curry is flying around screens, Jimmy Butler attacking gaps, Draymond orchestrating from the middle. That is not some easy team to prepare for. And then you start looking deeper. Al Horford gives you experience and intelligence, but Zimski brings energy and creation. Melton gives you perimeter toughness. Guy Santos can provide size and activity. Yaxel Lendenberg has already created excitement with his versatility. So when somebody says, this is not a talented roster, Warriors fans have every right to push back. Is it perfect? No. Does it have holes? Absolutely. But here's where this conversation gets really interesting. The analyst admitted Golden State has the means to improve this roster through trades. That matters. Because this team does not have to be finished today. Mike Dunleavy doesn't need to force a bad move just because somebody predicted the play-in in August. Golden State can watch the market, evaluate the first part of the season, and wait until the right player becomes available. And that's where I want to bring up Russell Westbrook for a different reason. Russell has now retired, so he isn't coming to Golden State, but think about what he represented for nearly 2 decades. Relentless pace, aggression, rebounding from the guard position, constant pressure on the rim, and an attitude that said every single possession mattered. That is the type of energy Golden State needs to keep adding. Someone who can come into a game and flip the temperature. Someone who doesn't allow the second unit to become passive. Someone who attacks when Steph rests. Someone who forces opponents to defend differently. Because if Golden State adds that kind of player through a trade or late offseason move, now suddenly that play-in ceiling prediction starts looking awfully dangerous. And let's talk about Jimmy Butler for a second. People keep discussing this team like Steph has to carry everything by himself. He doesn't. Jimmy gives Golden State another player who can create offense when possessions get ugly. Draymond gives them one of the smartest defensive organizers in basketball. Porzingis potentially gives them a completely different dimension with size and shooting. That's 4 players who can change a game in completely different ways. And that's why I can't buy the idea that this Golden State team should already be written off. We've seen this movie before. People look at age. People look at the Western Conference. People look at injuries. Then April arrives, Steph Curry starts hitting shots from places nobody should reasonably shoot from, Draymond starts solving every action the opponent runs, and suddenly everybody remembers why nobody wanted to see Golden State in a playoff series. And even this analyst basically admitted it. Steph, Draymond, Jimmy. Give him those 3 and he feels like he has a chance. So which is it? Are the Warriors a roster with no talent, or are they a team with 3 championship-level veterans that nobody should feel comfortable facing when the games actually matter? That's the question I want answered. Because if Porzingis gives Golden State meaningful, healthy minutes, if the young players take another step, and if Dunleavy uses those remaining assets to add one more aggressive two-way piece, I don't just think the Warriors can finish above the play-in. I think they can make somebody in the West very uncomfortable. Maybe not just uncomfortable. So Dub Nation, tell me what you think. Was that play-in prediction disrespectful, or do you understand the concern? And what type of player should Golden State target next? Another scorer, an athletic defender, or an aggressive playmaker who can completely change the pace of the second unit? Drop your opinion in the comments. Hit the like button if you still believe Stephen Curry can make one more serious run. Subscribe to the channel for more Warriors news and rumors, and stay locked in. Because the Warriors don't need everybody to believe in them in August, they just need everybody to remember them in April.